Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I'm Catherine Maloney, Director of Business Development for the Dutchess County Economic Development Corporation. We are pleased to present this spring webinar series, Building Successful Business. The series will cover important aspects of your business and its growth. As you know, events like this can't take place without the support of generous sponsors. The sponsors for this series are the New York Business Development Corporation, which complements conventional banking by working with banks to provide term loans for businesses in need. Their goal is to be more creative in their underwriting, making it easier to access capital. Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union is a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative offering a full array of financial services to meet the needs of their members. MHV strongly advocates the philosophy of people helping people. Strategy Leaders has employed a team-based, systematic process dedicated to helping you get the support you need when you need it. Their system is designed to aid companies at the owner level as well as the field and back office. BBG&G Advertising and Public Relations distinguishes itself with the work they do before they do the work. It is their ability to identify your strengths and make them really work for you through marketing materials that speak to your customers. HV Biz covers business news in Rockland, Dutchess, Putnam, Orange, and Ulster counties. HV Biz has received enormous praise for its inviting presentation and coverage of Hudson Valley's exciting business growth. WG Aquindo, Emerging Media, Marketing, and PR, helps small businesses integrate social media with traditional marketing to gain exposure and create new business. In one way or another, all of these sponsors have been instrumental in bringing you this webinar series, and I ask you to support them when you're able. I would now like to introduce Andy Gray of Strategy Leaders, who is moderating today's webinar.
Thank you, Kathy, and welcome everyone to today's webinar. This is our third in a series of several. Kathy, if you can go to the next slide for me, that would be great. And while Kathy's working on getting that slide switched over, we've had two webinars so far, and this is our third. And Frank Surdy from New York State is going to be talking about workforce development and the practical applications and the services that are available from New York State. The webinars have all been held. That's all right. Go to the next slide, Kathy.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. The webinars have all been held on Thursdays from 10:30 to 12, and we do have one more coming at you, Succession Planning by Larry Hoffelder. That will be next Thursday, so that's a great opportunity to get a little bit of learning under your belt before you head on out for the Memorial Day weekend. And I've seen Larry's presentation, and I'm very much looking forward to having him talk us through it. In terms of the webinar, you can go to thinkdutchess.com to register for Larry's webinar. And also then, if you'll go to the next slide, Kathy, we do have coming at you in June a live event, which will be our wrap-up event. The topic is Managing in a Changing Environment. I will actually be conducting that particular event, and it will also be an opportunity to meet all of the presenters in person and ask them your questions face-to-face. If you are in the Hudson Valley, I very much encourage you to come. It's going to be at Santo Stefano's Winemaking Club from 4 to 6 p.m. on June 9th. There is a nominal fee for the event, and again, you can register for that at thinkdutchess.com. Kathy, you can switch the slides for me. And before we get started, there is a little bit of housekeeping. There is a chat box on your webinar log-on that gives you an opportunity to write in a question. If you want to pose a question, Kathy will be moderating that for us. You may have a hand that indicates that you can raise your hand to ask a question. We're actually not going to be taking live questions. So if you do have a question you want to ask, type it into the chat box and send it over to Kathy, and then she'll interrupt us to bring it up. We also are going to be doing poll questions during the webinar, and the poll questions give us an opportunity to get feedback from the audience and to make sure that we are on target with the issues and interests that you each have. When we get to a poll question, you'll have several different options to choose from. We ask that you pick the one that most closely resembles you and to try and get through that choice quickly so that we can, in terms of getting back to the webinar, we can give you the results of the poll question and then jump back into the webinar. Finally, the webinar will be posted after we complete the event at thinkduchess.com. I encourage you to go there and to get through the webinars that are there. We already now have 2 of them, my presentation from 2 weeks ago, and on goal setting and marketing and sales, and Josh Summers from last week, which was about developing a social media program for your company. And with that, I think we're ready to get started. Kathy, if you'll scroll down. Today's topic is workforce development, understanding the trends and the needs, and we're going to get started.
Welcome to GoToWebinar.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
Are we okay? Are we still online?
I think so.
Yep.
Can everybody still hear us? I wondered, Sherry, did you just...
Kathy, I'm sorry. It was me. I just got on.
Okay, thank you. Andy's doing your introduction, so we'll be getting started in a minute. Thank you.
So, Sherry, if you could just put your phone on mute because we can't hear the background there. And if you've got a mute button, and then we'll turn it over to Frank, and let's get started with this. So, Frank, you'll get the controls, and it's all yours.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Good morning, everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity to hopefully share with you some workforce intelligence that you will find useful in your day-to-day business operations. And I thought it was a good morning this morning because I was driving to work and I actually saw blue sky. I saw the sun. And I'm in the southern tier in the Binghamton area, so hopefully that's coming your way because I just looked outside about 5 minutes ago and it's pouring rain again. So we've had our share, and I'm sure you have it in the Hudson Valley also. The focus of our presentation today, I'm going to talk a little bit about human capital, jobs, job trends, population trends. I'm having a hard time. I can't change the slides.
Oh.
Kathy?
Did you right-click your mouse?
Yep.
Okay, let me just try this. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we skipped. Okay.
You can go. You should be able to go back.
Kathy,
Okay.
I'm wondering if we picked up the presentation that does not. This is the same problem we had the other day. We picked up the wrong presentation.
Okay.
Well, we can continue with this. I'm going to talk a little bit about census data, the little that's been released so far from the 2010 census. I'm going to talk about job trends. These are both important because people and jobs represent your customers. They represent your potential workers. So it's important for you to understand what is happening there. And then Sherry Young, who just got on the call recently, is our manager for business services in the Hudson Valley. And we're going to talk about some services that are available to both to you as a business from the New York State Department of Labor as well as from the local one-stop system. So starting here, this is simply the total population of Dutchess County, and it's taking a look at the past 20 years. And fortunately, we've seen growth in Dutchess County, in fact, to the tune of almost 40,000 more people in the past 20 years, which is a good sign. When you have a growing population, it impacts the demand for retail services, for financial services, for housing, for schools, and the like. So it represents growth locally. I think, Kathy, you're going to have to turn the slides